Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 29 of my survival Minecraft Let's Play. I wonder about things, that is why I am called iWhat, and today we start this episode in the giant wheat field. And the reason for that is obviously because I want to do stuff over here. I want to build some things over here. More specifically, I want to make it a little bit more accessible. Because right now, over here at this tunnel, which is like the point where we access this place the most, it's actually kind of annoying to get here because we are dealing with this one block drop, and it's actually kind of annoying to go on the wheat field because if we drop, then there's actually a good chance to destroy the crops like this. And every time I come here, I have to like carefully balance myself to land on this wood over here. And I've had enough of that. So today we are building paths over here and maybe some other decorative things. Especially also because every now and then I have to cross here because over there is like the area that I have designated to be ugly where I grow my trees to get wood. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I want to get right into it and I want to build some stuff over here. So can we please play the intro? Alright, obviously the first step in building paths and decorations at our wheat farm is to figure out where exactly we want to build these paths. And we can do that by sort of keeping in mind the various points along the edge of our wheat farm that we want to connect using paths. And for now, that is this tunnel, maybe somewhere to connect with a path up the hill over there, some paths over there to future projects, and one connecting to the river to provide easy access to the island over there. And the second thing that we kind of have to keep in mind is that when crossing a field like this, you will naturally want to take the shortest route possible, which is a straight line. However, we cannot build a perfectly straight path across this field because that simply will not look good. We kind of have to curve it a little bit. But using these two, and thirdly, oh yeah, a very important one. Thirdly, I kind of want to incorporate the horse race track, which is a project that is getting very little attention, but we want to work on it eventually. I kind of want to incorporate the horse race track into the path that goes through here. We'll see how we do that exactly. But yeah, so that starts with de-wheating our wheat farm and in the places that we want to build stuff. So we just go like this in the places that we want to build a path. And then we can sort of follow the thing that we harvested to see exactly where we want to go. Okay, I think I have figured out what I want my paths to look like. And this is kind of annoying to build actually, because you really need a bird's eye view like this to figure out if you are doing it correctly. Because if you are down here, you can't really tell exactly what direction you are going and if that is good for what you want. So, you know, that's kind of annoying. But let's not go too far because I just noticed something behind me over here that is actually really nice. Because for those of you who remember the previous episode, there we go. Some pillagers have spawned, so we are going to try and catch one and get them in their display cage. Honestly, I have no idea how I am going to do this, but first we have to kind of get rid of this guy because I don't want one with a banner. And that might be annoying because he might trigger a raid, though I believe they changed the mechanics of that in one of the latest updates. And that means that we can kill this guy and it will now drop a potion instead of giving me the effect. So we'll try that first and see what happens. Okay, yeah, so that's good. Now we are safe from the raid, so we don't have to worry about that. But now the problem is, how do we get this guy over to where he has to be? Because we can't go too far away because then he will despawn. So don't stand on the edge like that. I don't want you to die. I kind of want you to follow me if you can actually. Can you do that? Oh yeah, you can kind of follow me. Let's try and getting over to the stairs. Okay, I got him all the way to the stairs, but now comes the most difficult part probably, or the most annoying part, because now we have to get a name tag and actually name this guy so he never despawns. Also, we still have to get him in his cage, so I am not sure how we are going to do all of that. I think the name tags will be in this chest, yes they are. And we should have an anvil over here. Let's name this guy Leonardo Fibonacci. If I can type fast enough. Fibonacci, like that. There we go. And yeah, now we don't have to worry about him despawning again. Right, now let's run away and let's hope he does not follow. And it is not over there, but over here that we want to somehow get him in here. Oh, hi. You've already come over. Can we somehow arrange something where I push you? Or is that too difficult? Is that too hard of a task to accomplish? We have to go up a block, right? That's a bit annoying. I'm surprised how little damage I'm actually taking, because he is really shooting me very good here, and I'm not really taking that much damage. Okay, he's in. And we oh no. Okay, and it's also very nice that he just keeps standing there like that. There we go, I think he's in. Ladies and gentlemen, we have succeeded in our little side quest of getting a pillager in this thing right here. This is a nice opportunity to empty our inventory. Next up, I'm going to place in the blocks for our paths over here. And we are simply going to follow the block pattern that we have over here, which is path blocks, coarse dirt, and packed mud. Actually, I think this will be a very boring process, so what I will do is I'll just cut to the moment this is done. From this high up, it is more easy to see what I have done exactly, so I have placed in the blocks as I said I would do. Maybe we should add more of these red and white things along this path over here. So the idea is that the horse track will go over there, do some things, and then maybe come back over there and then go up the mountain to complete the cycle. But we'll see that in a future episode. For now, I want to expand the wheat farm up to the river, maybe like up to there. And then after that, we'll add some rocks and stuff to decorate this thing. Though I think this will take its time already, so I figure I should get started right away. When I am walking around here in the space that I actually want to build this, and when I'm now estimating the scale of what I am doing here, I can tell that this is actually a big project, and I feel like I have to hold myself back a little bit. We've already done quite a bit of stuff here. I feel like we should first do the rocks and the little decorations, and then we might try and extend this path a little bit, but I'm definitely not going to do all of this in one go. Maybe we should split it up so I can do this project over multiple episodes instead. Okay, so the idea of what I want to add here is to add some walls or fences almost, but make them like a little bit messy using cobblestone and mossy cobblestone blocks. Maybe we can mix in some other blocks like moss or even andesite, and we'll see how that goes. And our objective is to kind of like hide these like wooden things. Maybe we can replace them with trapdoors or something, because we kind of have to have these to hide the water. Also on the paths, I don't like these wooden things, even though you don't really notice them because they have a very similar color to all of the other blocks on the paths. But I feel like we should definitely add lighting to the paths on the side somehow, and we have to figure out how to do that. That's why I brought glowstone. Secondly, we want to spread some hay bales around and maybe add a scarecrow here and there. We'll see how it goes. I actually think this is quite a difficult thing to do. I feel like decorating it like this will be a bit more annoying from the design perspective. So we'll see what I can brew together here. Ladies and gentlemen, I am doing the thing that I enjoy doing the most in this video game. And that is adding a bunch of details to my world. As you can tell, I have added some details to this first section over here, this first path, and I wanted to walk through it with you so you can see what I am doing over here. So I've added a bunch of like broken down and like mossy stone walls here, and some bushes here and there. I also added some armor stands in the fields. Those will become scarecrows in the future. I still have to add like armor to them, or maybe a pumpkin head or something. And some hay bales, and actually I love how this looks. Maybe partially also because I love just doing this, so I'm going to do the entire field obviously. But yeah, I really like this. Also, I intentionally left relatively large sections of the farmland like touching the pathway without a stone wall like this. I think that works better for the aesthetic that I actually try to achieve here. Because if I enclose it completely, it feels like the farmland is like completely sectioned off from the path. And that's not really what I want. I want the path to really go through the field and not just next to the field. Anyway, I think I'll continue adding more details to the rest of this farmland, and I'll get you back with the result. Ladies and gentlemen, it is done. And I am so happy it is done. I absolutely love this build. So much so that I would even maybe call this one of my favorite builds in our world right now. This is such an amazing area right now. It turned out so great. And let's walk across these paths a little bit while I talk about the things that I've done here. Obviously, I added some scarecrows and some hay bales in the field, and I expanded these stone wall things that we had earlier. But there are some other things I would like to talk about. One thing is how nice this build turned out, even when I was a little bit afraid about a couple design choices that we had made in building this. One notable one is these red and white things for the horse track. I was afraid that these red and white things with their bright colors would immediately draw your attention towards them and away from the actual like area that we want to like visualize here. And that would be bad because obviously these would like in a sense make the build ugly then. And it turns out that that is absolutely not the case. They fit in really well in my opinion. They don't take away from the build at all. Even though they are still like noticeable, but they're not dominant, I would say. Secondly, I tried to make every like section or area in this build feel relatively unique. And what I mean by that is add little details that are not present in other places. For example, this one is a very like obvious one. We have this area with a crafting table and a campfire over here. And this is the only place in the entire field where we have built something like this. And this is like a feature that will make you remember this specific spot, perhaps subconsciously, and it will help you orient yourself in the world. Over here, it's the signs pointing to the different directions. And then over here there is this armor stand, but we'll talk about that last because that's, in my opinion, the best feature of the entire field. Over here it's this bush. This is the only bush in the entire field that is just a bush on its own, that is not next to a wall or something. And I guess there's a couple of others, but yeah. Another thing that I wish to talk about is that I tried to fit in some crafting tables here and there. That is because when we were standing here, the second closest nearby crafting table is over at the house. So it was about time that we had an extra crafting table around here somewhere, because in my opinion, in your Minecraft world, you should have access to a crafting table at all times. So here and there, you'll see them dotted around in the field here. Even though you don't really have context on using them, just having access to them is always a plus, in my opinion. Is there something else I would like to talk about? Yes, there is actually. I really went crazy with the lighting in here. Maybe I should wait until it's nighttime so I can show you this. But the entire field is really well lit up. However, that is done with not a single torch in the entire field. Like, everything is nice and hidden, and you can't see any of the lighting. So that's a really nice accomplishment of me, in my opinion, to like hide the lighting everywhere. Is there anything else? I can't think of anything right now. So let's show you my favorite feature of this entire field, and that is this scarecrow right here, because I added something really nice, and that is this button. If you press this, it swaps with a different one, and that's such a maybe... You might ask to yourself, like, how often are you going to do this? And that's kind of right, but it's details like this, in my opinion, that make your world go from good to absolutely amazing great. And, you know, this is just one of my favorite things in this world. And the redstone for this is kind of simple. Let's actually show you how it works. So if we go down here, we come into the redstone area. So over there on that block, on the top of that block is the button. And we just pull from that button using a repeater. We go in here, we have a piston, and then a repeater again. This will just make the pulse the same length every time. Specifically, the length that this thing can be on at minimum. And then we torch, and then we torch into the piston, and we torch into the block next to the trapdoor. This will power the trapdoor, basically. And you might ask yourself, why do we do torch twice? Because doing torch twice does not do anything. But we do that because we kind of have to use a torch over here to power the block above. And yeah, and then the piston will launch this thing up at the same time as the trapdoor is opened, swapping the armor stands. And then as a finishing touch, we've added these two note blocks as well. And where is the exit? The exit is over here. And I should also eat, I see. Right, there we go. And let's leave this place. I have to be a little bit careful exiting this because I have trampled my crops when exiting this before. Right, with that, ladies and gentlemen, I think we move on to the next project. Though, actually, project, I feel like for the remaining part of this episode, I kind of want to do a bunch of like smaller things in my world. The first part on the agenda is that in the field that we kind of live, and that we live below because the underground base is below our feet right now, we have a lot of these random holes everywhere, like caves and stuff, and I know for sure that there has been some leftover creeper holes. And I just want to fill them in, because eventually I want to let the villagers roam around freely. And if there's like random holes like this, that's not really a good idea, because they will get stuck inevitably. So what I'm going to do is just place down some dirt like this. And maybe add some torches on the top just to make sure that no zombies can spawn. And yeah, that's basically this project already taken care of. Well, I think it will take me quite a while, but still, you get the idea. There is things like this huge sinkhole in my field, and right now I'm debating whether or not I should cover it over. And I think I've decided that I am going to cover it over right now, simply because we are already filling in all the other holes in the field. And it's just going to feel a lot better if it's covered, because in the long term I feel like I should cover it anyway, and now that we are doing it, we can just do all of it at once, I feel. Placing down dirt. Placing down even more dirt. Placing down dirt. You know what? Let's place down some dirt. Let's place down some more dirt. And let's continue placing dirt here. I think adding dirt is the way to go here. You see, I'm adding dirt, and with every dirt I add, it gets even better. So let's place down some dirt. What does this build lack right now? I feel like it lacks some dirt. I feel like we should add some dirt. Get out of the way, you leaf. You should be replaced by dirt, obviously. Because dirt is the top block of choice today. Let's start a new stack of dirt. I feel like a full stack of dirt is absolutely what we need right now. Let's add some dirt here, and yeah, let's continue placing the dirt. Let's add some dirt, and oh, flower, get out of the way, and leaves, get out of the way. You need to get replaced by what else? By dirt, obviously. I mean, you know how this goes. Everything gets replaced by dirt today. Anyway, the hole is almost covered, and as you can see, it actually feels quite nice, where you do not have a giant gaping hole here, but just a flat surface. Maybe we should light it up a little bit, but yeah, it's coming along very nicely. Alright, enough dirty talk for a YouTube video. I think I have covered up all of the holes with two exceptions. The one exception is this. This is the first mining hole. And I didn't cover this one up because it's in a kind of annoying alignment with our river project that we have going on. And when building this thing, we'll inevitably have to change everything over here. So I don't really see the point of doing it right now, since at some point we'll build some stuff over here as well, which will just undo what we do today if we cover it up. And the second hole that is not covered up is this one, but this is kind of an important one because this is the stairs that we use to get mobs in our base. Right. While we are placing dirt right now, I feel like we should continue placing down dirt, because down here I have an area in which I also want to place down a lot of dirt over here. So I kind of want to prepare this area for future projects, and a part of that is adding in a grass floor. There is, however, one problem with this room, and that is that it is too low. Especially like around here, we have a slime chunk somewhere over here, so slimes spawn here. Slimes only spawn below a certain Y level, below a certain height in your world. And it turns out that if we place our floor at this level, this is like the lowest it can be. If we were to place it on this level right here, then slimes can spawn in this room. But if you place it on this level, then slimes cannot spawn. So we kind of have to do it over here if we don't want to deal with slimes all over the place over here. So yeah, once again, we are going to place down some dirt, and this time underground in this spot right here. It turns out that placing down a bunch of dirt consumes a lot of dirt. I believe when we started, this chest was almost like filled up to like this point, this row or something. I don't remember exactly up to where it was filled, but it was definitely like almost full. And we've consumed a lot of dirt just by filling in the holes on the surface. And now we are going to build like a whole floor over here. So we'll see how much we eat into our dirt supply. Not that dirt is too valuable, but yeah. Apparently, placing down dirt consumes a lot of dirt. In fact, I can be more precise. It consumes about 1 block of dirt per dirt block placed, which is greater than or equal to the amount of blocks placed, so that's a lot. This would have been such a great project to make a time-lapse of. I think it would be very satisfying to see me gradually fill in this thing. But sadly, I only thought of that when we are like halfway done, so yeah, perhaps a time-lapse is for another day. The floor has been filled in with dirt, and this is a first big step in turning this area into a very nice and important part of our base. There remains a couple of tedious steps that we still have to do, because this rock right here, if we mine this, there's water in there, and obviously that's not ideal for dealing with a rock. So we'll have to see how we move this around a little bit, because I feel like it sticks out a little bit too much. And you know what? I can tell you more, because if we mine into this rock, this one is also flooded. So that one has kind of the same problem actually. I already have some ideas of what I want to build here eventually, but that will be a long time before we actually do that, because I am fiddling around with some things in a creative mode world before I commit to doing it over here. Right, now let's move on to the next thing. After all of that placing of dirt blocks, I feel like we should switch things up and move to removing blocks. And we are once again over here. I know that I've worked a lot on this area in the past couple episodes, but I can't get enough of it. I feel like we should expand in this direction, and we immediately get gravel in our face. No, I'm just going to dig some stuff. I'm not going to build here today. It's just a preparation of what we are going to do soon. Oh my god, this is going to be very satisfying. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to pick up all of these items and clear the floor, and this is so nice. Oh, let's listen to the plopping sounds. Ah, we should do this all day. This is amazing. Oh, let's do it all the way till the end. And there we go. With this, I think I can work in the next episode. I already have a thing in mind to build here, so let's clear our inventory and move on to the next thing. For the next project, we come to the Nether. And the reason for that is because of this Nether portal right there. This is the Nether portal that we use the most because it connects to our base. And it is in a really inconvenient spot, because in the Nether, basically everything we have built connects to these stone paths over here. And basically all of our Nether portals are like at that height, and as you can see, this is not connected to that. So the thing that I want to do now is build like some platforms and connect this to all of the other things that we've built. Basically start a Nether hub in a sense. Though a proper Nether hub will have to wait to another day, because I feel like that is going to be a very big project. For now, I just want to move it to somewhere more accessible. Alright, let's just quickly build ourselves a Nether portal here. I don't think we're going to do anything fancy, just something functional here. And I built it one too high, but that doesn't really matter. Let's go through to check if it is built in the right position. Yes, we come out in the right portal, and now let's go back. Alright, everything works perfectly. Ladies and gentlemen, this will save us so much inconvenience and so much time. You cannot believe how long I have waited to do this. So, yeah. Now, let's move on to the last thing of the video. The last thing that I want to do in this episode, and perhaps a little bit in between this episode and the next one, is light up the caves in the surrounding area. Because there are still quite a bit of caves left that are completely dark. And I want to do that because in the next episode I kind of want to build a creeper farm. And the efficiency of such a farm is drastically improved when there are very few dark spots in the surrounding area where mobs can spawn. So, also there is no more time in this video, so that means that we have to end it. And with the end of a new episode also comes a new fact of the video. And the fact of this episode is that on the Titanic, the 4th smokestack was actually fake. It did not emit any smoke from the engines or whatever. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to thank you for watching. I hope I can see you in the next episode. And as always, keep wondering.